All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So sorry, I just got sidetracked completely. Welcome back to the program. I am watching what just transpired in the Judiciary Committee just a moment ago. And go ahead and stop that. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. And this was about American law and American courts. I'm told that the Senate Judiciary Committee, it ended a little bit early because of some procedural maneuvers. Joining us now, we've got Senator Linda Collin-Smith. She's just up to the table. She's fresh out of the Judiciary Committee. We just talked to Terry Rice, Senator Linda Collin-Smith. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of discombobulated. I was trying to watch that video, and we had a few seconds, or we might have had more than a few seconds of dead air. I really apologize to the listeners out there. So, what exactly happened? We just heard from Senator Rice about his Second Amendment bill failing this morning. In Judiciary, this afternoon, we were hearing that you were going to run your new bill. Before that happened, we had State Representative Brant Smith and his witness, distinguished Colonel Paul Deckard of the Center for Security Policy. And something happened where there was a voice vote. The yeses had it, and Senator Hutchinson basically said, no, the noes have it. And so what are your thoughts?
Well,
or tell us, is that true? I don't know.
Well, it was obvious that that he called that vote wrong, and you couldn't miss it. I mean, it was just an obvious vote that was called wrong. You know, you can tolerate some things, but it's like it's an intentional circumstance, and it comes a time where as legislators we have to do our jobs. We have to go to meetings. We have to hold meetings. We've got people waiting for, come in for days and days at a time to sit there, and when a bill's called wrong, we want that chair to call it right. Probably one of the first times we've had a roll call on an amendment, and that was on that Hendren's bill.
And that failed.
Now it's Hendren's. Yeah. Now HB 1249's become everyone's bill, but it started out to be a little bit more lenient to the Second Amendment folks on a campus. Now it's a major change in the Second Amendment to add restrictions. So when Senator Hendren was going to do his bill, and then I was going to do the amendment, and I was going to present my amendment if they were presenting amendments. Then I was going to bring mine back up. And he called it wrong, and we said roll call because we knew that was not accurate. It did not pass out of committee.
Okay, so this is talking about yesterday.
Today.
This is today?
Today.
Senator Hendren tried to run his bill again.
Yes, today, this morning, in the morning hour.
Oh, in the morning. Okay. But yesterday, I want to do a flashback from yesterday. I posted this on Facebook, tagged you in it. This was your question to Senator Hendren yesterday, and it sounded like this.
Armed, and Arkansas would not let her protect herself, so she chose to go to a Texas school. Why do you want to hinder someone like my little daughter, who's an adult now? She has my grandson. She could shoot a gun, pregnant, not pregnant, young when she was small, we taught her how. Why do you want her to be treated differently than someone else that's able to, if she's on a college campus, to be able to, be treated differently? Why do you want to hinder her rights?
I have to be real careful here because you're talking about something that's a little bit sensitive, I think, to both the guys that you're talking to right here. When you start accusing people who put their lives on the line defending the Constitution of abandoning their oath to support and defend the Constitution because you disagree with where that line should be drawn on the Second Amendment, that goes down pretty hard.
All right, that's Senator Jim Hendren responding to your question about limiting the Second Amendment, and he cites his military service and that he's offended, essentially. And you responded to that later in the committee, but I'll go ahead and just ask you now. What's your response to that?
Well, it was very hurtful. I have to say why is because every time Senator Hendren has gone overseas, I'm such a patriot. I know the sacrifice. He might not come home. And I've prayed for him. I've sent texts, and I've retweeted when he's gone, on missions. And, of course, I don't watch everyone's tweets. I can't sit and do that. But he knows that. And for him to bring up his military career the second time we've had to say that, he always brings it up when something's not going his way and he can't make you vote with him. And that's how it feels. And I'm saying it that way because that's exactly how that feels.
And this isn't the second time in his speech on the floor that with the veterans tax, that was cutting taxes on veteran retirement and raising taxes on digital downloads. He talked about, hey, you know, we can't do this for our boys because we're mad about taxing somebody's download of Pokemon. I mean, he did the same thing, which I think there's some veterans that would take offense at that. I don't think that's why. I don't think you go overseas, and I'm not a veteran, and I can't imagine the courage that veterans have, that people who serve have. It's incredible to me. It is absolutely incredible to me. But at some point, you know, well, I don't know. It does seem a little odd. You gave him a question about the Second Amendment, and he is clearly more liberal on this issue than you are. And he says, well, you've offended me because I served my country in the military, and you're calling into question my defense of the Constitution. It just seems so odd to me.
Well, me too, and it was really hurtful, and you may have heard those where my voice was about to crack, because it's very offensive when you truly care about our veterans. Mm-hmm. And as a veteran mother, I can't imagine someone using that to attack someone because you don't want to stand up and say how you really feel about the Second Amendment. Yeah, his vote is going to be his record.
Right, and the way he feels about it is on college campuses, because there's a lot of people there, just like there could be a lot of people at a movie theater or a mall. He doesn't trust an individual with the right to carry a gun to defend themselves. He wants the additional training and things like that. And you know, we may end up at a point where we look at a broader view and we say, hey, it's better than it was when we started the session. You know, people can at least, but we're not there yet. Why not do the most conservative thing we can do? If we support the Second Amendment, why not support the Second Amendment? It's pretty basic stuff. And what I don't understand, Senator Linda Collin-Smith, is how does the NRA back your amendment last week? And it's still on their website that they are backing it, by the way, even though I know there was something in the committee said to the contrary. I think Senator Gardner said something like his amendment is the only one backed by the NRA now. That is not an accurate statement. But then now the NRA backs Hendren and Garner's amendment, but it's still puts the additional training that they opposed last week. And the only thing I can come back to is this is about what the governor wants, and the NRA has kowtowed to the governor to get to this current spot. And I think, and I'm going to say this, and just for the record, Linda has not said this to me at all, I don't think they want someone else to get the credit. I don't think they want Linda Collin-Smith to get the credit. I don't think they want Senator Terry Rice to get the credit. I think they want to get the credit, so there's, you know, because they were scared of the NRA's negative score last week, and they found a way to get them to play ball. Senator Collin-Smith, feel free to respond.
That's right, and it was said today, I think, by one of the legislators, and it might have been in committee on the mic, or it might have been in person to one of them, is you've got to understand right is right. But this is my line, right's right and wrong's wrong. If you do what's right, you sleep good at night. And the point was, if they're dealing, NRA's dealing, instead of doing what they say they stand for, the people of Arkansas should be very upset. They're not going to be upset with us if we vote right, which means the Second Amendment. They didn't want restrictions. It was very hard to get a bill re-referred. Now they're having to withdraw it again. They're going to make a move to withdraw it from the floor because they want it so bad that they're willing to cross lines, and they're willing to ruin their credibility with others. And I think that's wrong. Our Second Amendment is basic right to defend ourselves. And why would you vote against or vote for more restrictions than was even in the first original bill? And why would you go against your constituents who are calling you like crazy saying, don't do that? We don't want more restrictions. And if you're going to have to work so hard to do the stunts that we've seen, the stunts, that's exactly what they are, to try to pull a bill out. What is it that someone either has over you, that you're willing to go against the Second Amendment rights of the people to protect themselves and to be able to bear arms, law-abiding citizens, by the way, or that you're willing to cross those lines with your colleagues? Yeah. So what is it? Is it because that they want the governor? The governor wants it so bad they have to? Are they leadership or are they family and they have to?
Well, I don't. The governor doesn't trust people with the Second Amendment. with a gun. The governor doesn't trust people with a gun. He thinks they need more training. I mean, that's what this is. It's clear as day. It's why he wanted expanded background checks after Sandy Hook, and the NRA had to come out and correct him and say, oh, he doesn't speak for us, even though we, for some reason. So, by the way, there are those connections there, which is I think that's how Governor Hutchinson was able to bridge the gap with the NRA lobbyists and in general the lobby. But I just want to say, Senator Collin-Smith, thank you for standing up. I know it's hard, and I know you're asking somebody a legitimate question about their constitutional principles, and all they can say is, "I served in the military. You're offending me by questioning my, devotion to my oath." I'll give you the last word. We're up against heartbreak in a minute.
Thank you, Paul. One of the things I'd heard from a lot of people that heard those comments made by the senator last night, and I think they were pretty offended too. They just thought it was totally out of line. And so I guess I've said it once before on the Senate floor, and I'll say it again. Thank God I have a military family, because that's the only way you can fight back with them. Yeah, well, thank God. I said my family stood to sacrifice too. And, it's a shame that you would throw that out there. I'd like to have had the question just answered. Yeah. And so we didn't have to resort to that kind of lowball move, because I didn't throw him one.
Senator Linda Collin-Smith, thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.
Have a great night, folks. The Liberty Machine rolls on. Back in just a moment.